Hey guys, this is the mind of Lilith, and thank you for joining me today. This post is a response to a comment that I received from one of the people who listen to my channel, not necessarily a subscriber or someone who has written comments before. I don't remember this name, but this person said in response to my commentary about whether or not we were too hard on Arionne. She said, just admit that you all have bullied this woman over something that is none of your business. And Arionne was the one who made herself known on social media. She was the one who made this affair the public's business. And she went public and on social media to further denigrate Melody because she felt like Melody and Martell were using her to get famous on the show. But Melody and Martell had the show in the bag before anybody knew about Arionne. So Arionne felt the need to go on social media to attack Melody, even though Melody never talked about Arionne as far as her name. Nobody knew who she was. Nobody knew where she worked. Nobody knew anything about Arionne. Martell and Melody had a reality show that they pitched about their home construction business. It was not about this affair, but during taping, Melody found out that Martell was still sleeping with Arionne. And so the infidelity became a central part of the show, okay? And Arionne took that as Melody trying to use her to get famous, when in actuality, Melody was already on her way to fame because of the work she was doing in Huntsville, okay, with the home construction business and the property management business that her and Martell had started. So this became the public's business in a sense when Arionne went on a public platform and started talking about Melody and Martell. She started talking about her affair with a married man. So because Arionne chose to put her and Melody's business and Martell's business on social media in the most vulgar and disgusting and disrespectful way, social media responded in kind, okay? So I didn't start my platform to bully anybody. I actually started my platform to advocate for Melody because I saw that she was not receiving a fair shake among the content creators and some people in the audience who didn't like her because of her personality. And my platform was created to help people to understand things from her perspective, okay? Namely, dealing with a narcissist like Martell. So Arionne got caught up in the mix because Arionne was exhibiting the same narcissistic traits as Martell, namely being vicious and malicious and cruel and torturous to a woman who just had her fourth baby. So Melody had 4 babies by Martell, and that did not stop Arionne from going on social media and disrespecting a wife who is married to her boyfriend, okay? Arionne did not meet Martell first. Melody met Martell first. And Arionne treated Melody, as if she was wrong for staying with her husband. And as a result of Arionne having a nasty attitude about Melody, the audience and the public had a nasty attitude towards her, right? People saw that it was unfair for Arionne to attack Melody, who had nothing to do with what Martell was telling her. It was not Melody's fault that Martell did not want to be with Arionne. But Martell told Arionne things to make it seem as if Melody was the reason why he could not be with her. Melody was the reason why he had to stay in an unhappy marriage. Come to find out, 3 years later, he regrets everything he said and he did to Melody. And Arionne has not apologized to Melody for that. Now, is this our business? To be honest, it is not our business personally, right? Because we're not in these people's relationships. However, it is our responsibility and our civic duty as women in the collective to make sure that young girls like Arionne do not think it's okay to attack married women. Just because you're in love with somebody else's husband doesn't mean that the wife is at fault for that. The wife is not wrong for meeting your boyfriend before you did. The wife is not wrong for having the qualities and the characteristics and the attributes that the husband wants in a woman that you don't have. That's not Melody's fault. In my opinion, Arionne's attack against Melody was kind of like an attack on many married women, because Arionne would often attack married women in her tirades. She would say married women were old linebackers who were jealous of a young hot girl from Ohio, right? Who could snatch a man from his wife. She said that she could take Melody's man from her with her eyes closed. That is what Arionne said about a married woman who just had her 4th baby, who had nothing to do with the reason why Martell lied to her. It is not Melody's fault that Martell manipulated and lied to Arionne. But, like many mistresses, instead of having smoke for the married man, Arionne decided to take her frustrations out on Melody and other married women. I'm not married, so I wasn't speaking from a personal perspective where, I'm being triggered by what's happening to Melody because I've been cheated on by my husband, or my husband cheated on me, right? So that's not what I was doing. But I was trying to help women to see things from a battered woman's perspective, right? And on top of that, I wanted to shed light on why I believed Arionne was attacking Melody for something she had no control over. So the comment goes on to say, let me see if I can read this. She says, I sat and watched you all talk about this woman terribly. Now, after all these years, you're saying it's wrong. I never said I was wrong. I asked if I was too heavy-handed in my criticisms of Arionne, and my conclusion was that I was not too heavy-handed. I felt like I was fair to Arionne, considering the information that we had about her and what had happened in this marriage. If Arionne has shown any redeeming qualities, I would have highlighted those in my commentary. But Arionne has chosen to become the supervillain in a sense, because in her mind that makes her more powerful or more significant. All she would have to do is, show remorse and be repentant about her role in this situation. A family was destroyed, and instead of showing like some sort of contrition or sadness about it or regret, she's standing 10 toes down and continuing to attack a person whose marriage she helped to destroy. Nobody said that this is all Arionne's fault. Martell is mostly responsible for this. I've said this more than once if you've listened to my channel. Martell was the one who's largely responsible for what happened. Now, if I didn't say this earlier, I'm not replying to this person's comments so that she can be attacked by you guys in the audience. I don't want that to happen, okay? That's not what I'm highlighting this comment for. But I'm sure that there are other people who feel the same way about about Arionne. There are people who feel like Arionne received a bad rap in the situation. She was being attacked more than Martell, to which I will say that I addressed this before. Martell is allowing Arionne to catch all these bullets because he low-key blames her for ruining his marriage, even though it was his fault. And I've said this more than once. So now, after all these years, you're saying it's wrong. If you were to listen to my channel and read some of my community section posts, I always talk about making sure that I'm not going in too hard on the cast members, and I try not to play up some of the negativity that is in the blogs. I even pulled back from talking about Love March Huntsville so much because there was a lot of negativity and a lot of energy associated with the show, and I did not want to feed the algorithm with that. Okay, I made a choice to step back from talking about the show in a certain way because I knew that people had a bloodlust for some of the cast members, and I did not want to feed into that negativity. If you want receipts, check my videos or my audios that I post, and also read some of my community section blogs, okay? I had this attitude towards Martell, Miss Wanda, Tisha, etc., etc., etc. If I wanted to just make money off the channel, I could just feed into the algorithm. Really easy. I know exactly what to say. I know exactly what people want me to say about Arionne. I know exactly what to put in the titles to get more clicks and more likes and more subscriptions. I choose not to do that on purpose. That was never my intention for starting this platform. If you listen to my original channel, The Wounded Womb, right? My second or third video, I said that my channel is not intended to bully people, anybody, including Martell. I said this over a year ago. That was never my intention. I have also shared with the audience how conflicted I was about talking about Arionne because I felt like talking about her would amplify her voice and her presence on social media. That is also why I pulled back. But some people in the audience said they were learning from the platform. So I continue to talk about Arionne in a way that was informative and not just critical and abusive. Okay, that's number 2. So this person continues to say, it was wrong from the beginning. It is amazing what people will do for money. And again, if I was just doing this for money, I know exactly what to say. I know exactly what to do to get the algorithms buzzing. I chose not to do that. And I'm not just speaking to this person in particular. I'm speaking to anyone in the future who will come on my platform saying you're just doing this for money. You're just doing this for the clicks and the algorithm and so on and so forth. I know exactly what to say and what to do. And I've chosen not to do that. And my subscribers have stalled or slowed down because I'm not saying what the audience wants me to say about these people. I know exactly what they want me to say. I'm relatively intelligent. As a matter of fact, I have read comments from people in the audience saying that your channel used to be popping, but now it's so boring. And it got boring because I chose to pull back away from attacking someone viciously and maliciously, in my opinion, with no sense of balance. Okay, so Arionne kept doing negative things, right? And so she was getting negative feedback, and I did not want to have to keep saying negative things about somebody regardless of whether they deserved it or not. I felt like it was overkill, and I said this more than once. This ain't the first time I've said it, okay? I've said this years ago. If you were to pay attention to my channel when it first started in September 2021, right? I mentioned more than one time that I did not intend to use my platform to bully people. And it's cost me subscribers. It's cost me views. It's cost me money, and I'm okay with that because I've been fair. I've been objective. Anybody can tell you this. You will hear commentary where I talk about Arionne, some of Arionne's positive attributes, and I also talked about the things that she can do to make money on her platform. And I also said that she has the opportunity to make money with hair care or something like that, right? I try to give her advice. Many content creators have given Arionne advice on how to fix the situation, including Funky Daniva. So Arionne has chosen not to listen to the advice. She's chosen to turn the world into her enemy, and everybody's against her except Martel. So yes, it's not about money for me. Other people, I can't speak for them, but it's not fair for you to say that without listening to my other videos about this girl and also reading the commentary that I've written on my community boards, okay? Was she wrong? Yes. But let's be clear. This is what she says. Was she wrong? Yes. But let's be clear. Martel is the one who destroyed his family, and no one knows what he was telling her when he was with her. We do know what he was telling her. He was telling her that Melody was the problem. We said this a year ago. I said this over a year ago. I said that Martel was cupcaking and pillow talking with Arionne, making her believe that Melody was the reason why he couldn't get a divorce. Okay? I said this a long time ago. This is not something that's unusual among married men. Most married men do this. The reason why Arionne was so invested in this relationship because Martel lied to her. We've been said this a long time ago. Okay? When she interviewed with Toxic K last year, or in December of 2021, I think, something like that, January, December 2021, I said that Arionne was someone who was easily manipulated because Martel isn't the smartest person, but Arionne is a little bit delayed. That's what I said. And I felt sorry for her because her mental deficits made it easy for Martel to take advantage of her. I said this over a year ago. Just because some people are saying it now doesn't mean that I didn't know this over a year ago and I didn't say it a year ago, okay? Just to say what it is. Now, no, and she says, no one knows what the conversation is between a man and a woman that are sexually involved with each other. Regardless of the conversation, Arionne knew that Martel was still having sex with his wife because she kept popping up pregnant. That's number one. Also, Martel was having an affair with Arionne for 5 years. So regardless of what he was telling her, the receipts and the evidence proved otherwise, right? Martel went on national TV and called Arionne a peasant. He called her a peasant on national TV to Melody, to the therapist. The therapist. He said it to make Melody feel better. Martel the liar. But instead of attacking Martell, Arionne decided to attack Melody. That is why people had smoke for her. It wasn't because people wanted to see things from Martell's perspective and Martell was given and it wasn't his fault this happened. No. Arionne attacked Melody. That's why people had a problem with her. How are you attacking the wife? It doesn't matter what the husband says. It doesn't matter what your boyfriend says. How are you attacking the wife? I don't care what the boyfriend says to you. You leave the wife alone. That is the rule. I've never been a mistress or a side piece, but guess what? I would never attack a wife. I don't care what the husband says. I would never attack the wife. Okay? He's with her for a reason. So regardless of what he told Arionne, Arionne wanted to believe it because she hated Melody for being the wife in the first place. That is why people have a problem with Arionne. That's number 5 or 10, okay? So, Martell is the one that, okay. She said also, you all dogged and judged the hell out of this girl over something you had nothing to do with. So, just because this had nothing to do with us, we weren't supposed to judge or criticize what was happening. So, when the police brutalize somebody, that's not our family, right? When they kill somebody on camera, is that our business? It wasn't us. It didn't happen to us, right? If your husband is beating on you, God forbid, he's beating on your sister, is that not our business? Because in my mind, I'm thinking that we as women or as a village, we're supposed to protect each other and look out for each other. The reason why things are so raggedy in our communities now is because people have a me first, only me. I only care about me. Nobody else matters but me. It's only my business attitude. So when people like Arionne are sleeping with married men, they don't care about how that's going to destroy the marriage because all they care about is their own needs and their own gratification, right? So you don't care about destroying the village as long as your vagina gets wet, as long as you get your needs met. Forget the children, forget the legacy, forget the businesses, okay? Forget the plans they had as a couple. All I care about is me, and it's nobody else's business but mine. That's the problem we have in our community now. We need to get back to calling out bad behavior among our peers, among our relatives, among our friends, among our acquaintances, because we have to get back in line. Things are out of order. The reason why Arionne felt comfortable and felt bold enough to talk about a married woman is because as a collective, over the past 40, 50 years, the value of marriage has been denigrated. It's been devalued. People don't respect marriage anymore. Mistresses don't respect marriages anymore, and neither do the husbands that are cheating on their wives. So you know why? It's because there is a lack of resources in our community. Now it's gladiator, it's warfare, it's guerrilla warfare. I'm gonna get mine regardless of who I destroy to get it. Okay? I'm gonna get mine regardless of whose family I destroy. Right? That's what's happening with Arionne and Martell and Melody. That is why people were so incensed about it. Not because people wanted to hate Arionne for no reason. No. What Arionne was doing to Melody is one of the reasons why, as a collective and as a community, a lot of women don't want to get married. Right? A lot of men don't respect marriage anymore either because they feel like they can always find an Arionne to make it easier for them to stay in an unhappy marriage. Right? And Martell even said it himself that he really didn't have any reason to cheat. He was just being greedy. And he's doubled down on that. So are we wrong for calling out Arionne for attacking an innocent woman when even Martell now admits that Melody was innocent? She did the best she could. She was a good mother. She was a good cook. She was a good housewife. She was a good business partner. Is it fair for us to criticize Arionne's behavior now? Nobody is saying that we want Arionne to get hurt. I didn't say that. Most certainly, I didn't say that, right? I said that there are some women who would have hurt Arionne for what she was doing to Melody. But I am not condoning violence against her. Okay. That's number 15, right? All right. I'm not keeping track, but yeah. So you all dogged and judged the hell out of the girl over something you had nothing to do with. Because we had nothing to do with it, that means that it was right. So because technically it's not our business, right? We're supposed to let this slide and let women think that it's okay to do this to wives. Side pieces need to stay in their place. I'm sorry. If you're going to be with a married man, at the very least, respect his marriage and his children and his home and his family. Arionne did not do that. She chose not to do that. She could have kept quiet and fell into the background. But she wanted to be seen and heard and famous like Melody. She wanted to become Melody, like an energy vampire. That is why people were also triggered because they could see the plays that she was trying to make behind the scenes to make it seem like Melody she didn't deserve Martell. She was doing Martell a favor, right? Arionne acted like she was doing Martell a favor by being with him, in a sense, okay? And Arionne made it seem like Melody would do anything for fame and money, okay? Which wasn't true, because Melody had the show before people even knew about Arionne. This situation embarrassed Melody. Arionne wanted to embarrass Melody. So unfortunately, she got the energy that she put out. Because if nobody knew about her, then nobody would be attacking her. Nobody would attack Arionne if they didn't know who she was. But Arionne wanted to be seen for some reason. She was proud of what she had done. Nobody even mentioned her name. Nobody knew how she looked. I think Funky Dineva exposed her in a sense, but nobody even mentioned Arionne like that. Nobody cared like that, to be honest. We cared about the Holtz. Arionne being in the mix, she made herself more important, or she made herself central to the story because she was proud about what she had done, and she decided to have a baby by a married man on purpose to prove how valuable she was to Martell, which was not true. Okay? You all dogged and judged the hell out of this girl over something that you had nothing to do with. Hell, she says, Melody didn't even go in on her the way you did, and she was the wife. We did it so that she didn't have to. We did it so that she did not have to. I'm sure Melody went in on Arionne behind the scenes, right? I'm sure she did. To Martell. But to be honest, Melody had more smoke for Martell than she did for Arionne. But Arionne had more smoke for Melody than she did for Martell. Because Arionne's a pick-me. And Melody's not. Okay? So Melody had to focus on her 4 children. And her failed marriage. And her own mental health. So addressing Arionne would have given her more power. Okay? It would have given her more prominence. Or more value in her life. So the audience took it upon themselves, including me, to defend Melody's honor, okay, and to speak for her on her behalf. Not because she asked us to, but because we felt compelled to do so because we felt like she was being treated unfairly. I did anyway. She was treated very unfairly by Martell and Arionne. And Martell was telling the whole world that Melody was a bad wife. That's what he was doing. And Arionne was corroborating that. She was supporting that falsehood, that lie. So now you have this woman whose relationship you've pretty much helped to destroy, and to make matters worse, you're talking mess about her on social media. So you were okay with Arionne and Martell talking mess about Melody, but nobody else could stand up for Melody? Is that what was happening? So you have been sympathetic to Arionne this whole time. I wonder why. Why? I'm a very empathetic person. Very empathetic. To the point where I stopped watching Arionne because I did not like the way I felt watching her. I did not like the energy that was welling up inside of me when I saw this girl talk about Melody the way she did. She did her dirty. She was wrong. So because I didn't want to hate the girl, I stopped watching her. I stopped giving her my energy. I'm only addressing now in retrospect the way that we treated Arionne so that we can learn and do better in the future. And in retrospect, in my opinion, I think I was fair. I think I was fair to Arionne. I did not go as hard on her as I could have. But I always ask myself this question. Am I doing the right thing? I didn't need you to tell me that. I always ask myself this question. That's a part of my moral fiber. Okay? Not to be seen as some self-righteous person. But I'm always checking myself and making sure I'm doing the right thing. That my intentions are in line with the objectives that I'm trying to accomplish. My platform is not about hating women or hating men. It's about teaching people based on my own experiences, my knowledge of astrology, my knowledge of psychology, right? And me being a very observant individual, okay? So this is not just about me talking mess out of my behind because it's easy to pile on to one person. No, I tried to find redeeming qualities by Arionne. It is very difficult to do that. I did. You can listen to some of my commentary in the past and people were like, how can you say this? You're justifying what Martell did to Melody. No, I can see things from everybody's perspective, okay? What she did was wrong. And I felt compelled to address it as a member of the Black community. We have to address the issue of people not respecting marriages, the side pieces or the spouses. We have to get back to that. Yes, marriage is an archaic institution and it has to be reimagined for the 21st century and the Aquarian age. We admit that, fine. But on its face, you should respect people's marriage. You should respect people's decision to commit to each other for a lifetime. It is not okay to say Just because I love this man, I have to hate his wife. It's okay to hate this innocent woman who's a wife and a mother of his children, right? It's okay to hate this woman, because I love his man. I want to be in her place. Now I have the right to try to destroy her. And men do the same thing. There are many spouses who get killed by the side pieces. That happens all the time. So this was dangerous for Melody too, okay? Because Arionne seems unhinged. So Arionne deliberately got pregnant on purpose to try to destroy this marriage. And she succeeded. Martell played a hand, and of course, this was his fault. This was largely his fault. He made this happen. But Arionne is attacking Melody for what? Why is she attacking her? And why are we wrong for criticizing Arionne for doing the wrong thing? Why are we wrong for doing that? I'm confused. Are we not supposed to protect the innocent men, women, and children in our community? And some people would say, well, Arionne's innocent too. If she was innocent, even if Martell told her the most horrendous things about Melody, if Martell said Melody is evil, Melody's bad, Melody's a demon, she hates our kids, it was not Arionne's place to go on social media and try to denigrate a married woman. It's not her place to do that. She was wrong for doing that. And you said that earlier, yes. So why are we wrong for calling it out? What's supposed to happen here? Were we supposed to let Arionne think that she did the right thing so that other girls who look up to her will follow suit? Is that what we want? Or do we have a responsibility and a civic duty to call out bad behavior? I'm not saying look into somebody's personal history, their personal records, like what was happening with Tisha and Marcel. I'm not saying doing background checks and digging up dirt on a girl. I never did all that. All I did was address what she talked about on social media. I discussed what she talked about. So she would show me her character on social media. She would show me her mindset. I watched interviews with her and Tasha K. I listened to her recorded conversations when she was talking to her friends. I read what she said to Melody when she was pregnant. Very vile, disgusting things to say to a married woman when she was 9 months pregnant. Very vile and nasty. It was so bad that people felt compelled to say something. It was so awful. If it was some mild mid stuff, like what happened with Nicole Murphy and other mistresses and side pieces, people will forget and forgive because, men cheat all the time and men lie. But Arionne went on a campaign to destroy Melody, to hurt her. And Melody had already lost everything. So why add more salt on the wound? Why? Melody lost everything in literally a couple months. Her businesses, her marriage, her family dynamic, everything was gone within a couple months. And the person who's responsible for it is like gloating on social media and laughing about it. Why should we not say something about that? So what are we supposed to say about the situation? Nothing at all? Just say, oh, let it slide. It's none of your business. It's none of your business. Really? The village being destroyed is none of our business? Okay. This just goes to show that people really have way too much time on their hands to tend to talk other people's business the way y'all were all in theirs. They're on a reality show. These people are putting their business on social media. Literally having conversations and arguments on social media about what's happening in their marriage. We didn't dig in their private files and do spy work on them and hack their emails or hack their social media accounts to get up this personal information. They were sharing it on public media for the public discourse. That's what it's put on social media for. That's why Martell was upset because Melody put on social media. We didn't do that. So what do you want it to say? Oh, it's none of your business. Let them handle it among themselves. If Arionne wanted this to be private, she could have kept it private herself, right? She could have kept it private. But again, it is technically not our business. You're right. It's not. But because the situation was so awful, the way it happened, it was so wrong. Many people felt morally obligated to say something. Some did it for money and some did not. I didn't do it for money. Yes, my channel is monetized, but guess what? I know exactly what to say to make more money off this platform. I know exactly what people want to read and want to hear in my commentary. But I deliberately chose not to do that. And some of my OG subscribers have talked to me about this. We've had discussions about it. And they said, please don't stop what you're doing. I get it. You're trying to do the right thing. You're helping us out, right? I had this conversation over a year ago. You're not saying nothing new right now. And I'm not trying to attack you at all. But there are other people who think like you do too. I wonder why you were so sympathetic to Arionne. Because like I said, I'm a very empathetic person. in general. And I'm empathetic to a fault, to the point where I decided not to go in on the girl so hard because I didn't want to feed into the hatred that people have for her. So I didn't benefit from that. My channel stalled in growth, and I did it on purpose because I knew that people were only subscribing for the drama with the cast members, and I pulled away from that. You can read some of my posts on my community board from months ago. From over a year ago, I talked about this on my other channel. Okay, you're talking about her mentality. You talking about her mentality. You and the others really need to check yourselves. And I said this to this lady in response. I always check myself. Unlike Arionne, I'm always checking myself to make sure that my integrities and my morals are intact. I'm not perfect. We all make mistakes. And I don't want to seem self-righteous and like I don't make mistakes. We all make mistakes. But if I make a mistake, I try to correct it. Right? Unlike what Arionne did with Melody. If I make a mistake, I try to correct it. So when Arionne found out that Martell was still married to Melody and he was trying to work things out with her, the right thing to do would have been to pull back and say, I will no longer participate in this relationship. I need you guys to help me get away from this man, Martell. He's chasing after me. Not say something like, well, he can't stay away from me because I'm irresistible. I'm better than the wife and you're all just jealous of me because of that. That would have been the right thing to do. Did Arionne check herself when she was talking to Melody and attacking the audience for calling her out on her bad behavior? Right? We didn't lie on Arionne. I didn't lie on her. I wasn't making up lies about Arionne on my channel. I never did that. That was unnecessary. There was enough dirt on Arionne from her own actions and her own behavior and her own language and her own attitude. I didn't have to do anything. I wanted to see redeeming qualities in Arionne because I try to be fair to everybody. People who have listened to my channel from the beginning, they know this about me. Okay? And this is something I have to wrestle with from the beginning. I'm like, okay, am I adding to the problem by talking about this girl? I said it's more than once. So do not act as if I'm having some sort of crisis of consciousness now because other people are, saying the same thing I've been saying months ago? Don't do that. I don't need anybody to check me on that because I do it myself extensively to the point where it becomes almost debilitating. I'm constantly making sure I'm doing the right thing. I don't want to hurt anybody. But at the same time, I have to say something when I see something is wrong. I feel as if I have a responsibility to myself and my community to call out bad behavior when I see it. Not pick up on every little single story about Arionne just to get clicks and likes and money from the algorithm. I could have been did that. That's not hard to do. There's plenty of stories about Arionne on social media that I chose not to focus on because I know that it was a part of the hysteria and the madness. Okay? I know that for sure. And I'm not perfect and I'm not self-righteous either. But in this instance, I'm offended because guess what? I made a deliberate choice to not talk about this girl in a way that was unfair. It was a conscious choice. And I know when I made it. I remember the conversation I had with myself about the platform. And I was like, maybe I should just get off of this channel and stop doing it. Because I feel like I'm adding to the drama, making it worse. That's what, I told myself. My mom too. I had this conversation for over a year now. You're not saying nothing new. Trust me. But when I was reflecting on my commentary about Arionne, I realized that I was fair to her. I really was fair to her. I wasn't trying to go in on her just because it was the thing to do and you would get more likes and more clicks and more subscriptions for that and more money. No. I really tried to find redeeming qualities in all the cast members. I don't know what to say about Arionne that's positive besides the fact that she's pretty and she has nice hair. I don't know. That's all she talked about herself. I have no idea what to say. I was looking, even with Martell. Somebody mentioned months ago that I really try to be fair to people on the show, right? That's my objective. I don't know how to not be fair. But again, Arionne did not give me much to work with. She didn't. I tried. She did not. She attacked this man's kids. She didn't care about the way that they would feel because of this divorce. She didn't care about that. She didn't care. There were 4 kids involved. So we're supposed to not say nothing while this family is destroyed in front of us. We're supposed to not say anything about someone's family being destroyed in front of them and them being attacked, Melody was getting it from all sides. People on social media were hating on her. Martell was turning his friends against her, right? Arionne was talking about her. Melody had nobody like that. There were people on social media supporting her, but in her personal life, she was getting it from all sides. Her mom, of course, was there. Her brother was there, of course. But her friends had turned on her. Her ex-husband turned on her. His mistress was dogging her out. It was too much. It was unfair. So some people like myself don't like seeing other people get bullied. I don't like when anybody gets bullied. Anybody. That's why over a year ago, I mentioned on my other channel, right? I talked about the fact that I did not want my platform to become a space to bully people. I've been said this because I felt the wave of the energy coming from the audience. I've been said this more than once. There's a reason why I barely address Destiny on my channel, okay, in her situation. I barely talk about her, right? I barely talk about Maurice and Kimmy. I barely talk about Tisha like that, right? I can say many things that I chose not to say. And again, the reason why I'm addressing this way is because I have been very intentional with my platform. So I don't like when people who don't watch my channel or who don't read my community posts, they come along and they act as if I'm doing something I'm not doing. Do not lump me in with the other people who are doing what you said they're doing. That's not fair. And that is one of the reasons why I don't like social media either, because people don't know how to use their discernment or critical thinking when they're sharing their opinions. And you can say, this person can say, oh, you didn't do that with Arionne. I don't care if she was Mother Teresa. The way she treated Melody was unacceptable. Not because we like Melody or anything like that, right? Not because Melody was the first person and last person to be cheated on by their spouse. Not because we blame Arionne for anything. This was Martell's fault. But the way she talked to Melody was unacceptable. It was disgusting behavior. She was purposefully tormenting Melody and cruel to her, to somebody who had nothing to do with her, to somebody who just had their fourth child and who lost their marriage. She had no sympathy or empathy for Melody, and now she's receiving the same smoke. If you were to listen to what I said yesterday, 2 days ago, I said that I don't think that Arionne needs to be punished in perpetuity. I think she should suffer until she learns her lesson. That's what I said. Some people want Arionne to suffer forever. I don't believe that's necessary. I don't believe that's fair. I think that if you learn from your mistakes and you are repentant and you're apologetic and you try to rectify the situation, I believe you should be forgiven because we all make mistakes. But according to what people are telling me, Arionne is still talking mess about Melody. 2 years after her divorce, she didn't do enough damage, right? This is what I mean. All right, guys. And I'm going to say this again. I'm not mentioning this so that you guys can attack the person who wrote this comment. That's not my point. My point is that I guess I'm triggered by this statement because you guys know how hard I've worked to be fair on this channel. And it's hard to be fair with somebody who's unfair and unbalanced. So how do I have a balanced perspective about someone who's unbalanced? Right? There has to be a counterbalance here. So her being irrational and unfair to Melody kind of forced us to support Melody in a way that seemed to be unbalanced and unfair. It's almost like Melody can do no wrong. That's how many people treat Melody in a sense. And I don't agree with that. And I've been criticized for that in the past. But Arionne's treatment towards Melody has kind of made Melody into a superhero, and she's become a supervillain. Right? Just because of what she's done. Nobody told her to act this way or behave this way. We're trying to correct her behavior. Nobody wants Arionne to be this way, except Arionne and her family. Nobody. And like I said, if it was about money, I could make a whole lot more money from this channel by doing exactly what the algorithm wants me to do. And I will not do that unless I feel like it. And I haven't felt like it because it's overkill now. What else needs to be said? Because it is common practice for me to reflect on things, right? I was reflecting on my commentary about Arionne on this channel to make sure I was being fair. I reflect on everything. I'm a very introspective person who thinks about the consequence of their actions, to the point where sometimes I censor myself and sometimes I don't move as quickly or as confidently as I should, because I don't want to offend other people and I don't want to obstruct the rights of other people, right? That happens to me, not just in personal, but in professional spaces too. I'm the one who will sacrifice my advancement to ensure that other people are benefiting from me being in a position where they can use me. And I've worked on that a lot. That's my karmic challenge. I've worked on it a whole lot. And I've done that for this channel. I have sacrificed subscribers and stuff on my channel and money for the sake of making sure that I'm treating Arionne and other members of the cast fairly. That was the point of me doing this. Okay? All right, guys, I'm going to leave it there. My website is down until Monday. So if you want to place an order, you can do so on Monday morning. I look forward to reading your feedback. Oh, I forgot to mention one more thing. The monthly readings and the bi-weekly readings have been posted to Patreon. If you want to become a member of Patreon to get a monthly, to see the monthly tarot readings for each time. Okay? All right, guys. Once again, I look forward to reading your feedback. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll speak to you soon.